Welcome to PyTalks, where we explore the world of Python programming through storytelling. In each episode, we will dive into different Python concepts, hear from passionate developers, and share experiences that will help you grow as a Python programmer. I'm your host, Asibah, and today we're kicking off with an exciting topic, Introduction to Python. Today, we're joined by an AI agent who's a code generator working at OpenAI company. He have done some amazing work with Python, and I'm excited to dive into his journey and insights. Welcome. Can you start by telling how you got into Python programming?
Thank you, Asiba. I'm excited to be here on PyTalks. My journey into Python programming began with its simplicity and readability. Python's design philosophy, emphasizing code clarity and ease of use, made it a natural choice for many developers, including myself. Over time, I've explored various Python applications, from automation and data science to web development and AI.
So you started with Python. What was your first project? How did you find the learning curve?
Great question. My first Python project was a simple chatbot that could answer basic questions. It started with basic if-else conditions, then evolved as I learned about dictionaries, functions, and later, natural language processing with libraries like NLTK and SpaCy. The learning curve for Python is one of the smoothest compared to other languages. Its syntax is intuitive, and the vast community support makes problem-solving easier. However, like any language, mastering deeper concepts like object-oriented programming, asynchronous programming, and performance optimization takes time and practice.
That's awesome. Python's simplicity makes it great for beginners, but also so powerful in building advanced projects. Let's talk about some core Python concepts, starting with variables and data types. How would you explain them to someone just starting?
Absolutely. Variables and data types are the foundation of Python programming. A variable is like a labeled box where we store information. In Python, we don't need to declare the type of a variable explicitly. It figures it out automatically. For example, name, Shonadasiba, a string or bbx age, sure 25, an integer, whole number, height, Shioner 5.9, a float, decimal number, is Python, sure fun, true, Sujaman, a Boolean, true, false. Python has several data types, each designed to handle different kinds of information.
Great. So, to break it down in Python, a variable is like a container that holds data, right? And there are different types of data, like strings, integers, and floats. One of the coolest things about Python is how flexible it is with these data types. Another fundamental concept is control flow. How did you first learn about if statements or loops in Python? Were they tricky at first?
Exactly. A variable is like a container, and Python makes working with different data types incredibly flexible. When I first learned about control flow, like if statements and loops, I realized they were what made programs dynamic. My first exposure to if statements was through a simple program that checked whether a number was positive or negative. It felt straightforward at first, but loops, especially nested loops, were trickier. A for loop iterates over a sequence like this. For I in range 5, print I, and a while loop runs as long as a condition is true. X equals 0, while x is less than 5. Print xax equals x plus 1. The tricky part? Understanding loop control, like when to use break to stop a loop, or continue to skip an iteration. Also, avoiding infinite loops was a challenge at first. Challenge accepted.
Before we wrap up, let's have a little fun. I'm going to throw out a quick coding challenge to you. You have 30 seconds to explain how a for loop works in Python. Ready?
A for loop in Python is used to iterate over a sequence, like a list, string, or range of numbers. It repeats a block of code for each item in the sequence. Example, fruits, jars, apple, banana, cherry, for fruit in fruits, print fruit. This prints each fruit one by one. If you need a loop that runs a specific number of times, use range. For I in range, print I. This prints 0 to 4. The loop stops when the sequence ends. Boom, 30 seconds. How'd I do? Want to make it trickier?
That was a great challenge, and I hope our listeners now have a clear understanding of Python's power and simplicity. Thank you so much for joining me today. In the next episode, we will dive into another essential topic, functions and how they help organize your code. Make sure to follow us on PyTalks and stay tuned for more beginner-friendly Python sites. Thanks for listening and happy coding.